Well, good day, good evening, wherever you may be. Thank you for tuning in. Um, First, I got to start off by saying happy 2020. I am really looking forward to this year, and I'm going to really get right into this video. I really want to make it as short as brief and concise as possible. And I'm going to start off by saying today, January 10th, tomorrow is January 11th. And the reason why I'm stating those dates is because tomorrow will actually be our last day serving on 8th Street at our current space, 408 8th Street, Northeast. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be our last day serving. Uh, yeah, I've been very open about my trials with my landlord, and a lot has happened since I last spoke about it. But we've come to the point now where essentially they want me out, they're ready to move on. No amount of money is going to, you know. And the thing is, I've really come to discover that I'm overpaying for this space. I'm paying beyond top dollar, which is part of the reason why I'm in it. I was in this position from the beginning with. So I'm ready to move on. Yes, it's going to be very difficult, and with the investment and basically creating this space to so that we can be in a space that was conducive for us to do what we do, and that is basically provide the best food, best fresh juice, for you, for the customers. But even even having all the money, and that's what I came to realize. Like, it is time to move on. While that's been very, very one of the most difficult things I've had to deal with, I do understand. I've come to terms with it. So I really wanted to really make this video, first and foremost, to inform you all. And I know we have, a loyal customer base, and obviously this is in no way an end to what we do. It's not even an interruption. If you currently if you're familiar with us, you probably have seen us on Groupon. If you shop on Groupon, the Groupon and even the food won't stop. So we're going to be working out of another space temporarily, and I guess I will give the details of that space and the time. But yeah, we're going to be definitely serving the juice, and we'll probably have a limited food menu for a limited time block. So if you're interested, then you can call the shop number, the 202-803-2063. That'll ring to my direct line, and I'll give you the information if you want to get food. If you have a juice cleanse, it'll be the same thing. I can give you the time and the date and the location of where we're going to be. But it won't be far from where we're at now. It won't be on 8th Street, but it'll basically be, the whole thing was the commercial kitchen space. Like, we definitely need a commercial kitchen to do what we do efficiently. Um, so until we find a permanent home, which really brings me to the other part of this video that I want to share, because really what makes this year really special for me personally is this marks the 20-year mark for me adopting this lifestyle. It was in 2000, 1999, 2000, where I decided to say, I'm just going to eat all raw food. I'm going to fast. and I didn't know what I was doing, but I had such conviction about what I felt was really the right thing for me. And looking back on my journey, um, I mean, it went through certain phases. Obviously, the first phase was really, I think, planting the seed and really going into my own personal womb, like a rebirth. Uh, you know, really, and I was literally alone for. I mean, I obviously conversed with people and exchanged, and I had things that I had to do, but it was one of those things where it was very limited. It was only what was necessary. It was a lot of meditation. There was a lot of fasting, and it set the tone for what would become the next 20 years of my life. And after about a year of doing that and really eating very simply, basically fruits and salads, that's when I started my quest to become a raw food chef. I didn't say, oh, I want to become a raw food chef. I said, oh, I want to make this. I want to make that. Oh, you can sprout and, you can do all these things that I never knew that was even possible. And I never even forget my first raw cuisine dish was a zucchini noodle pasta, where I literally took the zucchini and took a vegetable slicer and sliced my fat zucchini noodles, made a cashew sauce, and it was filling on a different level than a salad. Like it wasn't like feeling like where I felt like I had like ate too much or anything like that, but it was just like, wow, I felt like I really had a meal where the salad was definitely a meal, but this had, did it on a different level. And obviously, with what we've created here at Keppers Raw Food, I can assure you that people come here with not only the expectation but that same feeling. It's like, wow, I've eaten, but not only did I feel good while I was eating, I feel even better after I've eaten. See, a lot of food, especially a lot of processed vegan garbage, um, you eat and then you feel worse. You feel terrible. You feel good while you're eating. I mean, that's true for any food. But then, really, the measure of the value of the food is how you feel after. If you feel like, you just did some wrong to your body, then you did some wrong to your body. Like, and you'll feel it. Or if you feel like, man, my body is really loving this, like after you've eaten, like it sits on your stomach perfectly. You feel like, wow, like what we used to always say, that hit the spot. So I just feel, fortunate and, really reflecting on these last 20 years, starting to do raw cuisine. I was so gung-ho, so excited, so, eager to learn and, didn't have the option of YouTube and the access to information, especially audio video information that we have today. So, and so even with spreading the message and spreading, the knowledge, it wasn't it was just different 20 years ago. So, um, with all that said, now I've been, because started making raw food for myself, all right, and then obviously that created the momentum where what would to become me sitting here, me having a shop, and obviously there were steps with that, but essentially it just grew from doing classes, doing started vending. I started doing anywhere catering, vending. Um, I would go to potlucks, bring my food to potlucks, and it was always obviously well received. And one thing really led to another. And one of the things I want to share, just as a side, because we always talk about or at least you always hear about, either becoming independent, entrepreneur, start my own business, all of these things, and I mean, I've been fortunate to be in these positions, but I didn't want a restaurant. I knew I could make food, and I knew, you know, like I had something, but just the daily grind, that was not something that I desired. But I only share that because when it actually did happen here on 8th Street 8 years ago, I said to myself, this was probably the best thing that can happen to me. So one of the things I've said is I'm living, I guess, my dream that I didn't know that I had. And I guess I say that to say is sometimes I guess we don't necessarily, you can visualize and desire and want this and want that, whether it be money, whether it be a relationship, or anything that is part of human desire. But essentially, life becomes about following your passion, living out your purpose, your karma, however you want to express that, and thinking about today and especially tomorrow, where my time on 8th Street is basically coming to an end. Obviously it becomes very helpful for me to understand, like, my time here, it is time for different things. But I'm going to continue to push the envelope and, continue to educate and inspire and teach and serve. So while this would be somewhat of a interruption, it's certainly not. It's certainly, I mean, where there's an end, there's a beginning. And what better way to begin 2020, my 20-year anniversary, with just the possibilities. And logistically, let me transition to some of the logistics that we're dealing with. Logistically, I'm looking at some spaces. I actually have two in mind. One next to my alma mater, Howard University, which would be really special because, while I was a student at Howard, my brothers at Delights of the Garden, shout out to them, the DOG, Delights of the Garden crew, where they were doing basically ahead of their time, doing raw food, right across the street from the School of Business at Howard University. So that was my spot. And those became my brothers. And I'm glad I'm getting a chance to mention that because it's become fitting that I have been the one to carry on the legacy that is part of Delights of the Garden. That started before Delights of the Garden with, brothers like Kofi Kwantamani and Dr. Reese Latham, my teacher, and on and on. So raw food, especially within the Black community, you can't not express those things and not talk about Delights of the Garden. Started in Atlanta in 1992, and then later progressed here in Washington, D.C., where I got a chance to really build and share and learn from them. In fact, 2022 marked 30 years, and myself and one of the founders, Emar Hutchins, we were planning to do a 25th anniversary book where I was going to do the recipes in the book, and that would have been essentially my cookbook, and it would have been entitled Delights of the Garden. So Kelper's Raw Food is Delights of the Garden. Let that be clear. Yes, it's the remix 2020 version of Delights of the Garden. And so yeah, it would be really fitting for me to wind up in that corridor. Um, Also looking at a space in there's a possibility in Anacostia, DC. So I'm not gonna share. I'm not gonna get into the details. All I know is, when these things are going to happen, they're going to happen, and obviously be on here to express and share. But in the meantime, like I said, reach out to me and find out what we'll be doing in the meantime. We will continue to keep this going. Us getting removed from the space is not going to stop what we do, because I know the importance of what we do. And in the time, I mean, we in 2020. People are not making New Year's resolutions. They're making new decade resolutions. So we definitely cannot discontinue what we do. In fact, we got to ramp it up. So the thing is like, I mentioned those spaces, and what I wanted to transition into next was really talk about, the opportunities that I want to extend to you all, to my customer base, because I've been fortunate enough to create a life for myself where not only I get to share in the form of service, but there are individuals, because one of the things I really learned about myself, this diet, and community, family, fellowship, is food is at the center of all of those things. I beat that message like a drum, and obviously I get to, as the head of this business, be able to eat from my restaurant pretty much 7 days a week, every week of the year, and then obviously share in any sort of business success. So the thing is like, because early in my raw food journey, I heard a voice that said that within myself, that said I needed to become a leader with this, and ever since then I have not looked back. So what I want to offer for those of you who may be interested is an opportunity to share on every level, on an ownership level. Or an investment level. So it could be investment, ownership. I'm not going to set any particular terms, especially on this video. I'm just going to kind of leave it open-ended, and if you're interested, we can talk. Okay, so ownership could mean, again, you share on every level of the business that I'm able to enjoy, whether it's drinking fresh juices, coconut water, and eating the best food prepared in the best way. That could be an opportunity for you to share with me on that level. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to this new year. Yes, it's been very difficult and very challenging, definitely upsetting. It's definitely been bittersweet this year to be able to have to walk away. But like I said, when I start to look at the numbers, the fact that I'm paying more than top dollar to be on A Street, I mean, you can say it's not fair, it's not this, whatever. I got a raw deal, which again you can very well say, but at the end of the day, I didn't do anything that I myself did not agree to. and I have to live with that. I have to understand this is a lesson. I didn't do the due diligence. I didn't negotiate as I should have. I didn't really appreciate the value that I was bringing. Um, I was just so excited at the opportunity, and so excited and so optimistic, maybe even overly optimistic that I could, whatever they said, okay, we want you to pay this. It's like no problem, but not really being realistic in terms of the business, in terms of, because, I mean, I'm gonna make the food affordable. I mean, that's part of the mission of my business is to make, raw cuisine a part of someone's daily diet, like, something that you can afford to spend with your, whatever your dietary budget is. Um, Even though, again, we're using some high quality ingredients that cost a lot of money that most, if not all, restaurants avoid. Um, I've never done that with myself, and I'm not going to start doing that with my business, especially as we move into this new decade. The Roaring 20s, 2020, and so yes. So I really wanted to share, and just to recap, like I said, tomorrow would be our last day. If you're interested in getting food, food will be available. Um, I don't want to share the details on this video because those things can change. But if we won't be serving food on Sunday, but we should be serving food that following Monday. I believe it's the 13th. So so you can call that number 202-803-2063. If you want to email me or direct message me on Instagram, or however you feel communicate, however you want to communicate, then I will give you that information. So I am going to leave it there. I think that is pretty much what I wanted to say, what I wanted to get across. Most importantly, yes, and I've waited basically to the last minute because it's just been so much uncertainty, and these things can, when I understand when you're in the midst of these types of situations. I mean, literally things can change, at an instant. You can bump into someone, a phone call, a moment, and it can literally, it can be one thing, or at least you could be thinking this one thing, and then it flips into a whole nother thing. So, yes. So I'll leave it there. Again, I wanted to just say I wish you all a very productive, a very healthy, happy, and prosperous 2020 and beyond for you, yourself, your family. I almost forgot. Next month, we will be doing Raw Food Retreat in Jamaica, February 17th to the 24th. Again, you can message me, or you can get in contact with Sabina at 718-469-2765. Yeah, so you can join me at Raw Food Retreat /certification. I'll be teaching classes and making food all week, and we'll be doing some coconut water fasting and doing some other amazing things. So that is I guess about 6 weeks away from now. So hey, yeah. So again, once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If this is on YouTube, then please like, share, subscribe, or anywhere else. Again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to serving you, or teaching, or sharing with you one day in this year. Peace and blessings.